Our second term kicks off. Over 1 million grade 9 learners brace for the first transition into senior secondary with just 3 weeks to national practical exams and a subject selection. This even as school heads warn that delays in government capitation threaten to derail key government assessments, co-curricular activities and learning operations as the longest term in the school calendar begins. Education stakeholders are urging the Ministry of Education to urgently disburse funds to avert a crisis, citing increased operational cost and logistical challenges in implementing the competency-based curriculum.
Our learners in grade 9 start applying to transit, and we have said we are going to leverage on technology to ensure that we have a smooth transition.
Amnesty International is accusing the Kenyan government of presiding over a violent crackdown on human rights following last year's anti-finance bill protest. The Amnesty report shows that the state unleashed a lethal force that left at least 65 Kenyans dead. The Amnesty International director, Irung Houghton, is now demanding justice for the prosecution of those responsible, as well as an end to the state's escalating repression of dissent.
Kenya's section outlines a sustained crackdown on civil liberties. This includes the use of excessive and unnecessary force by the National Police Service during the 2024 nationwide protests. Updated figures indicate that at least 65 individuals, Kenyan citizens, were killed. These actions were designed to create a climate of fear for those expressing legitimate public criticism and dissent.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has dismissed allegations that a shadow government was formed during a meeting hosted in Nairobi involving Sudan's Rapid Support Forces and allied civilian groups. Speaking on Tuesday, Mudavadi refuted claims that the February conference at the Kenyatta International Convention Center was a platform to establish a parallel administration in the war-torn country, clarifying that the meeting was solely aimed at offering a path for Sudanese parties to exercise their rights to self-determination. His remarks come amid a diplomatic standoff after the Sudan's Armed Forces SAF circulated a memo to foreign missions accusing Kenya of exacerbating Sudan's internal conflict. Mudavadi, who also doubles as Kenya's Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary, dismissed the circular as misleading and reaffirmed that Kenya's involvement in Sudan is anchored in efforts to promote regional peace.
People who are involved in conflict in their own countries to be holding press conferences here. I doubt that I would finish a press conference speaking in Uganda, for instance.
Kenya's position has been that bring the parties to the table. Let them be brought to the table. And by them coming here was to get them to talk.
When did these RSF people stop being our friends? I've seen you have abandoned them today.
Stops at the pleasure from the sign of the Sudan founding charter, which it perceives as an effort by RSF and civilian groups to legitimize a parallel political structure. However, Kenya maintains that its role is purely facilitative and grounded in diplomacy.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And across borders, U.S. President Donald Trump marked the 100th day of his second term with a campaign-style rally in Michigan, touting his administration's achievements and targeting political opponents. Addressing supporters in a Detroit suburb, Trump praised what he called a revolution of common sense and promised more dramatic reforms ahead. While inflation and energy prices have eased, unemployment has ticked up slightly and the stock market remains volatile amid a global trade tension.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.